What's up? CJ here. You might have seen the video I released a few months back called AI Coding Sucks, where I talked about all the problems I was having with AI when trying to use it to code. And here we are a few months later, and I've gone through phases, right? So I took an entire month break after that, using no AI at all. After that, I tried to figure out how to incorporate it into my workflow in a way that didn't suck or didn't make me hate my job. Um, and so I've learned a lot since then. And so in this video, I want to talk about some of the things that I've learned, talk about areas where AI coding still sucks, and then maybe give you some guidance as to how you should go forward in this world where AI is everywhere and you're being forced to use it. And really the biggest thing and the main thing that I want to get across, and the main thing that I found, is that tests are more important now in your code base than they ever were. And here's why. So let's talk about it. So first of all, AI writes code at 100x speed, right? It can just poop out code all day long, and that's fine. But one of the main issues is with that, all of this hype comes around focused on the output, right? So sure, it can just produce so much code, and it can produce code all day long. And so people have opinions that, oh, because it can produce so much code, we don't have to care about code quality. You don't have to look at the code ever again. Just prompt your way to to glory. But really, when you take something like AI that's producing code at 100x, you can compare it to the old days. I guess let's say like a few years ago, where Joe Schmo copy paste Stack Overflow developer could come along and could copy paste and glue libraries together to get things working, and they were employable, right? They could do that. But they're not moving at 100x speed, right? They're capped at the amount of Stack Overflow that they could copy paste to turn into somewhat working software. And so that's the old world. In the new world, we basically have this AI that can do that, but it can do it at 100x speed. And if you're not validating its output, and if you don't have systems in place to validate its output, you're basically 100xing yourself to the point of extreme technical debt, or to the point of not being able to maintain your code base anymore. And so that's the key insight, is we're too focused on output, and we basically have replicated the worst part and the worst kinds of software developers in this world of AI coding. And it's really interesting to think about, because before, like I said, you could have someone who was somewhat decent at assembling the stuff together, copy pasting, not caring about code quality, or not having static analysis tools, or not having really good test suites, and basically just fumbling their way into success. And we're trying to replicate that now with AI. And that's basically a lot of the code that AI was trained on. And so that's why we're ending up with outages and technical debt, and basically systems that are no longer trustworthy, because we've basically handed over the keys to AI without actually validating its output, or without actually having systems in place that can validate the stuff that it puts out. So with that in mind, this is where the idea of verification systems, or test, or static analysis come into play, and why they're more important than ever. Because I've been testing out a lot of different models. So I use Claude Opus 4.6 probably mainly, and then I use GPT 5.4 for planning. Sometimes I'll use GPT Codex 5.3 for coding. And I have this little local AI machine back there. And I've been testing out some local coding models like Quinn 3 Coder and Quinn 3.5. And what I found is that these models have been trained in a way, and basically they've had feedback loops as in their training, that causes them to want to validate things, right? So even on this little machine back here using Quinn 3 Coder, I could give it the most basic prompt, and it searches my code base. Do I have a linter installed? Do I have tests that I can run? And I say I'm speaking from the perspective of the AI. But essentially, the way that it has been trained is it wants to validate itself. It wants to make sure that the code that it wrote compiles, or the code that it wrote type checks, or the code that it wrote passes all of the tests. And so that's a very interesting behavior of these new models that we should try to exploit. Because if you're using AI in a code base that doesn't have those checks and balances, right? That doesn't have a really good test suite, that doesn't have static analysis tools or type checking or anything like that, AI has no way to attempt to verify itself. So it's just going to write some code and say, hey, I'm done. And so my main point here is because the models are trying to do this, if you set them up for success, if you have a code base that has a really good existing test suite, that has static analysis tools like linters and formatters, and also potentially like security review static analysis tools, those kinds of things, AI can run those in its loops to essentially validate itself. And you're going to end up with code quality that's much better than AI that's just going off and pooping out 100x code. And so with a really good test suite, AI will write the code, it will run the tests, fix the failures, and then keep on iterating. And what I've found is if you have this in place, it'll try to do it automatically. Now you can supplement that with decent prompts and skills and potentially like sub agents that are whose sole job is to write tests or to run the validations, because that's really one of the issues I was running into months ago. I would prompt and have basically like an agents.md or a claude.md that would describe, hey, you need to run the tests for everything, or you need to make sure the linter passes for everything. But eventually the context would get bloated and would forget a lot of those things. So what I'm finding is with these latest models, they're much more reliable at actually running the checks, and you essentially need to have gated checks. So you need to have a prompt that says, okay, implement the feature, make sure all of the existing tests pass, and make sure you write tests for the new code that you have implemented, right? And so with this iteration, your test suite starts to grow and grow. And if you're at least validating the test, because the test, like, it's possible to have bad tests, right? It's possible to have tests that test for the wrong thing. And so that's a whole other video. That's a whole other can of worms. But if you can make sure that your tests are validating the right things and are essentially proving the software that you're writing is what you're trying to build, AI is going to have a much time working within those guardrails. And so one of the main issues I had, and what I talked about a lot in the last rant I did on AI coding, was it felt like my job had changed from being able to like implement these systems myself to just being an AI validator. Like what was my role other than to just make sure that the code output was decent? And I'm finding with these new validation loops and kind of like shifting my thinking, I'm no longer the code validator. I'm more the design validator. So I make sure that the thing that AI is building is the thing that I actually want it to build. And I make sure that the things that we're testing for is the things that we care about. And so with that shift in mindset, at least for me, I'm having a better time. So I have at least 6 different projects I'm working on right now that have had heavy design phases where I didn't write a single code for a week. But this is another area where AI has been useful for me, is kind of as an ideation tool and as someone to bounce ideas off of. Because AI is really good at taking the status quo, right? All the code that it's ever been trained on and just spitting that out. But if you combine this ability to generate code with basically just like being able to think outside the box or combining other ideas from other places in the world that may not be programming, it is capable of coming up with interesting new ideas. So I'm actually building a framework, a full stack framework from scratch. And like I said, I spent a week prompting with AI, just talking about, okay, here's what exists and here's what I don't like about it. And how would we change that? And it would come back with several ideas, and then we could iterate on those ideas. And before actually implementing code, we were designing interfaces. We were designing how these things connect together without any code to make sure that it made sense from a design perspective. And so that type of iterating with AI for me has been a huge unlock. There's been so many ideas I've had over the years that just over the past 2 months, I've been able to iterate with AI to really flesh out those ideas, things that were just like a seed of an idea in my head that I'm actually putting onto paper now. And so that entire design phase, like I said, no code. And then we go into the coding phase, but we make sure all of the systems are in place that I talked about earlier. Like we have tests, we have linting, we have static analysis, we have feedback loops. There are also skills you can use. So Sentry has a skills repo, and there's a bunch of other people have skills repos too. It's basically just markdown files with instructions for the AI. But I specifically use the code simplifier skill and the code review skill and the security review skill. So anytime AI is implementing a feature, it makes sure all of the existing tests pass. It writes new tests. and tests of all kinds too. I'm not going to get into it in this video, but I'm going to do a separate video on how to write good tests and different types of tests. But you've got unit test, you've got integration test, and end-to-end test, and you need to make sure that you have a good suite of all of those for AI to validate itself from. But it'll essentially write its new tests, make sure the test suite pass, and then before committing any changes, it goes back and does the code simplifier skill. And so this removes duplication. And as I've found recently, there are static analysis tools that can find code duplication in a consistent way. Like you don't need to prompt AI for it. They're essentially CLI tools that will index your code base and find common patterns. And I've found that that is really good input for AI as well. So simplify the code, reduce duplications, whether or not the AI finds the duplications or the static analysis tools find the duplications. So that iterates, that keeps the code clean. And then we do a code review, which makes sure that the code aligns with the practices of the code base. And then we do a security review. And the security review skill that is in the Sentry repo has all types of things to check for, whether it's front-end code or back-end code. And essentially with these checks and balances, like all of that happens before a commit actually happens. And so everyone is hyping up and touting like how much faster you can move. I'm finding that, yes, I'm moving faster, but I'm also being more methodical. AI is basically forcing me to be more disciplined, and that's a good thing, right? Because even without AI, a code base with a really good test suite and really good static analysis tools is going to be much better to work in than one that has just been slopped together, whether it was by a human or by an AI. So this is basically my current mindset, my current state of things. And in some upcoming videos, I'm going to talk about my workflows. I'll show you some of the things I've built. I'll show you some of my massive test suites. I don't know if that's something to brag about, but yeah, I have test suites with literally 6,000 tests. And I have test rubrics and test validation because, again, like I talked about earlier, you have to have good tests. And so I have actually worked with AI to go back and forth and come up with a rubric that says like what makes a good test. And every time we write a test, we run it against this rubric to say like, are we catching all of the edge cases? And then a lot of times that rubric will cause AI to discover like flaws in the design, things we didn't think about. And instead of just guessing, it'll come back to me with questions and be like, hey, this is what I discovered. What should we do about it, right? Instead of assuming how to implement it or skirting around certain edge cases, I've prompted my AI in a way that we're basically a team now. And instead of just going off and doing whatever it wants, it'll come back to me and be like, hey, I found this. What do you think? And I found that iterative flow works a lot better. So all of that to say, like, AI does allow me to move faster, but in different ways. And it's not the 100x code output that everyone is touting. It is just being more methodical. It's spending more time in the design phase and having tons and tons of checks and balances in place. Now, you might argue, okay, but do we still need AI for all of that? Probably not. But like I said, I'm able to iterate in the sense of design and making choices faster, not iterating faster in the sense of code, because AI running in a loop to write the code and write the tests and do force phases of validation and come back with questions, that takes a long time, right? So it still takes a while. It's not crazy speeds, but it is forcing me to care and write better software. So that's where I'm at with all of this. Let me know down in the comments if you have a similar experience. Let me know down in the comments if you think I am now an AI shill because my mindset has shifted so much. But yeah, like I said, videos are coming on my testing strategy, on how I've been using subagents, how I've been able to code remotely, how I've been able to design bigger systems, how I've been able to code in languages that I'm not super familiar with. Like I'm writing a desktop app with Rust. I'm writing some performance evaluations in Python. All this stuff I've written before, but I'm not super familiar with, but AI allows me to move a little bit quicker. But if you add on all of those other validation layers, I'm attempting to do my best at writing good code in these languages that I'm not super familiar with. So that's all I got for you. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one.